For decades, Arnold Schwarzenegger has been larger than life, a world champion bodybuilder, blockbuster action star, and even governor of California. But behind the glitz and glamour, one of the most shocking chapters of his life has always been tied to his longtime household maid, Mildred Baena. Her story remained largely in the shadows, whispered about in tabloids, and speculated on by fans. Now, at 76 years old, she has finally broken her silence, and what she revealed left even the most devoted Schwarzenegger fans stunned. Arnold's image was built on strength, discipline, and the idea of the American dream. Rising from humble beginnings in Austria, he conquered the bodybuilding world before taking over Hollywood in the 1980s and 90s with roles in The Terminator, Predator, and Total Recall. Later, he shifted gears into politics, serving as California's governor. But despite his public success, his private life took a dramatic turn in 2011 when a shocking truth came out. Arnold had fathered a child years earlier with Mildred, the family's maid. The revelation rocked Hollywood. Tabloids exploded, fans were stunned, and his marriage to Maria Shriver fell apart in a whirlwind of scandal. For years, Mildred avoided the spotlight. She lived quietly, raising her son Joseph, while Arnold worked to rebuild his fractured image. Yet, she was the woman at the center of one of Hollywood's most infamous secrets. Until now, her side of the story was barely heard, overshadowed by gossip, speculation, and half-truths. In her recent statements, Mildred painted a more complex, deeply human picture of the events that changed so many lives. She revealed that the relationship with Arnold wasn't some elaborate scheme or calculated affair. It was complicated, emotional, and far more personal than the tabloids ever allowed people to believe. According to her, the bond between her and Arnold developed quietly over years of working closely in the family home. What surprised fans most was her insistence that Arnold was never absent in Joseph's life, even before the scandal broke. She claims he supported him, cared for him, and ensured he had opportunities, though everything was kept in secrecy. Even more surprising was Mildred's perspective on Maria Shriver. For years, the public assumed animosity and betrayal dominated their interactions. But Mildred says Maria's pain was real and justified, yet she also remembers moments of quiet dignity and grace in how Maria handled the devastating revelation. Mildred's words showed empathy for the woman whose marriage ended in such public heartbreak, something that stunned fans who had long assumed bitterness defined the relationship. But perhaps the most emotional part of her testimony was about her son Joseph. Today, Joseph Baena has followed in his father's footsteps, carving his own path in bodybuilding and acting. Mildred expressed pride not just in his accomplishments, but in how he has carried himself despite being born into scandal. She shared that Joseph has a strong relationship with Arnold now, and while the road wasn't easy, father and son have bonded over their shared passions and their resilience in the face of public scrutiny. What Mildred's silence-breaking interview revealed is that the story wasn't simply about scandal. It was about family, forgiveness, and the messy reality of human relationships. Arnold's image may have been tarnished in 2011, but time has shown that he and Mildred's son grew into his own person, and the fractured family found ways to heal. Fans couldn't believe what they heard because the revelations weren't about betrayal and resentment. They were about love, growth, and reconciliation. Arnold, now 76, is entering the twilight of his legendary career, and Mildred, finally speaking out, has given the world a deeper understanding of one of Hollywood's most infamous sagas. Behind the headlines was a story of a flawed man, a loyal woman, and a son who embodies both their legacies. In the end, her words didn't destroy Arnold's image, they humanized it. And for fans who thought they knew the full story, this revelation proved that even the strongest man in Hollywood had battles of the heart that no amount of muscle or fame could shield him from.